my little residence from where I do the streams. What's up, Clash Kid? Wow, we got lots of viewers already here. Subscribers: Acerbate, Clash Kid, Bob Sakamano, Oompa Loompa. Baba, what are you talking about, Baba? Boba Fett. What's up, Bob? How's your bet with your father going? How's your father feeling? At least the Dodgers won one game in 18 innings. Anyway, so baseball's over. Bob won his bet with his dad. What's up, guys? Alex CL. Thanks again for subscribing. We've got a stream for Rapid and Blitz against subscribers and other challengers. Primarily, he must not be feeling great. You have not heard from him. Primarily with the subscribers. First off here, guys, we're challenging, you're challenging me to 5 plus 3 through 7 plus 3, as we've done traditionally. These are my favorite time controls. I've got chess pandas here. This is micro panda. A little bit of lag in the stream, I think. Hello, micro panda, are you with me? Hello. And this is the macro panda. These guys are substitute pandas, or pandas. Hello. I don't know what to say. I feel embarrassed. I'm not like an official panda. But anyway, guys, let's get down to business. Enough of the pandas. Real panda is in Budapest, keeping my kids company. So what's up, guys? Ignis Arm Probot. We've got some challenges. He's it's cool, man. If you were my son, I would be quite distant as well. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. A little bit of mean humor. All right, Acerbate, Nils, Ignis. We got challenges 7 plus 3, 5 plus 3, 7 plus 3. 3 out of 5 pandas. Congratulations on winning your bet there, Bob. Mr. Coffee, the Red Sox. They deserve all the credit, not me. But I mean, you know, it's nice to be a New Englander. Sort of. Transplant. Mr. Coffee. I was born near Philadelphia, so I didn't grow up a Red Sox fan, but I got into it. So Acerbate, Nils, and Ignis are on Probot. The Europeans are like, what are you talking about? Guys, the time difference is an hour. You know, I know that Yobatis brought this up yesterday. I'm sorry if some of you European guys were surprised about the start of the stream time. How did New Jersey baseball team go? Yeah. Well, I was born near. It's pretty close to Philadelphia there, as you know. So let's get it started. We've got challenges. Bob donated one bit to take the bit lead for the week. JCS, our honorary moderator. What's up? So, New Jersey. The New Jersey Mets? Is that it? Do the Mets play in New Jersey? They play it. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm confused. Okay, Acerbate, Nils. I haven't been to New Jersey in quite a while. So the last time was like 2006. Let's get started with Acerbate 7 plus 3 challenge. The Mets are in Queens. I assume so. They wanted to move all sports teams to New Jersey at some point, right? All right, let's go. Let's not leave the Europeans out with this silly sports discussion of American sports things. East Coast. Okay, E4, Acerbate. We're going to play E5, play classical chess here. Guys, you're welcome to challenge me. Anything between 5 plus 3 and 7 plus 3. Who is that? I was going to troll you guys with my fake glasses. I have some old glasses that I just wore for fun sometimes. I never really got a serious prescription. But I need them for reading now. I don't have them. I should get glasses for reading. Alright, but I was going to troll you, but I was like, no, I look stupid. I look like... I'm like, who else has glasses that's streaming on here? A lot of chess players, right? Tricks Only. Does he have glasses? Andrash. Tota Andrash has glasses, right? Knight takes e5. Uh-oh. This is Acerbate's specialty. I didn't realize what I was getting into when I did this. Oh my god, this is like some Halloween gambit. Baseball is like skiing for Austria and Switzerland. I mean, the thing is, in America, there are three sports that are popular, and they're kind of equally popular. You know, NFL, National Football League, baseball, and basketball. And in many cases, you know, everything else is like secondary. You know, there's tennis, football, you know, soccer, whatever. But maybe soccer's growing, but it's those three, the three big ones. You've got to understand they're like, you know, some people just are into basketball. There's also ice hockey, which is actually probably fourth ahead of soccer. So soccer's like fifth in American sports. I lived in Hungary for 14 years off and on. I mean, it seems like they only do really like football and water polo. All right, knight takes e5. I'm just going to accept this. I have no idea what I'm doing. All right, the insurance agents are calling again, I think. d4. Please take me off the list. Take me off the list, guys. What am I supposed to do here? I guess I go to g6 and I hide this guy back on g8, right? Amy's been quiet. I have Amy's phone is turned off at the moment. We have not been getting a lot of text messages from Amy's phone. Like they must know that she got a new phone. Thanks for the donation, Merle. But I've got the insurance thing, man. I signed up on this online sites for like getting information about getting health insurance, and they stopped. It was really weird. They stopped, but I guess it was just because of the weekend. It sort of tricked me. I mean, a few of them call, like really, really diligent, you know, calling centers called on Saturday, but I thought it was over. Then a new wave started this morning. It was ridiculous. I was doing a lesson. One of my students, and the phone is like ringing every 5 minutes, literally. It's terrible. Okay, so Asterbate, what are we supposed to do here? Where Asterbate is in his wheelhouse here. So Merle, thank you for the donation. Amy is maybe a celebrity. I've got the same phone number as her former number, so we get lots of interesting texts. Bishop c4. Why do I want to play this move here? This may be not such a good idea because of queen f3. I'm literally playing this for the first time in my life. I didn't even know this was even like a real opening. I saw the reverse of it. I told you guys once. Alexander Ivanov against Sati Husari. Husari played a reverse Halloween gambit against g3. 4 knights with g3. The turkeys disappeared. Like, they were in the yard for a day, for basically 24 hours. Over 24 hours. They're not out there anymore. They moved on to a new location. They're roving roving bands of turkeys. Oh man, I don't know what to do. I'm scared though. I will tell you that. This feels sound, you know, it doesn't look it, but it feels it. Hot dog eating. Is that true? Dodger dogs. Did I already misplay this somehow? I mean, I'm burning up all my time, but I think it's worth it because I've never played this position before. Rufus, thanks for the bit donation. Takes second place. Simul was good. I had a lot of draws, but I didn't lose any games. That's like the first time I can recall being undefeated in a Simul. All right, so I'm even thinking about like b5. It's not a stupid move. I'm gonna play b5. Bishop takes f7. That is a stupid move. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's like a Tribe Called Quest song. With the oh my god. Bishop c4. I saw a really interesting article today on the BBC about the Beastie Boys. They're getting into like writing or something. I'm just talking about random stuff. Some strong players too. Oh, in the Simul. But have strong players ever played the Halloween Gambit? I mean, is this for real? Man. So I'm looking at d6, queen f3, and getting kind of freaked out at this point. I mean, c6 is another possibility. I have an idea. Can I play c6, queen f3, d5, en passant d6, knight f6? Something like that. Okay, I'm going to lose on time. I'm just going to try to survive and defend myself here somehow. But I'm scared. I'm at Acerbate's mercy, basically. Who are the Beastie Boys? Who is that? Man, dude, are you... Oh, poor Alex. He's, like, too young. They're white. They're white rappers from Brooklyn that are, you know, they were at their heyday 20 years ago, so... but they just love, like, music. You know, they're not like a parody. They're just white guys who like rap, and they're really, really good. Alright. They were white rappers in a time when there were no white rappers. You know, so it was kind of interesting. But one of them died, so there's only two left. Castles here. Just castles. Alright. This is different now, because I can go, like, king f8. I think that Acerbate missed his critical continuation there, like queen f3. Because now, like, rook check... Actually, I don't even need that. Yeah, he's up to screwed this. I mean, no way you played the best. The queen f3 was really critical. You know, if you play that... I can't believe someone doesn't know... Yeah, but it's hard for young people to know older music. So we can't assume everything. 30 actually. The Beat Boys. The Beat Boys were basically like music icons. The Beastie Boys. All right. Well, I thought they were silly. They thought they were silly when they started. That's like, you know, funny interviews you can read. Anyway, alright, I think we can castle. I mean, rap music is popular everywhere, though. Like, Hungarians are really into rap music, for example. I mean, it's not just like America. Rap is universal. I mean, I assume Romanians are into rap too. Percy's old school. Ultra old school. The Public Enemy. Public Enemy was awesome, dude. I mean, Flava Flav. That's my generation. Alright. You watched Acer play a really great game earlier. I'm telling you, this guy has talent. You know, he's just not he's up to 16, 17 too. I mean, he's gained, I would say, a solid 100 points in the last month and a half or so. He just will not listen to me, though, when I tell him that he's playing too fast. Perpetual stalemate. Yeah. True. Like, most rappers die in violent ways. Anyway. I just thought there was an interesting article in the mainstream media about the Beastie Boys getting into, like, writing. Now, I thought I could sack a piece here back. Am I allowed to do that? And I hate to destroy your... You're controlling the initiative, Acerbate. Alright. But this is my initiative. It's my turn. Dude has no development, and he's getting brutalized now. Bad time management by Asterbate. This is his biggest problem. He absolutely needs to slow down. He's like one speed, super fast, and he really, just cannot get away from it. You gotta slow down, dude. This is a long time control. You're gonna get exploited if you don't. I mean, I'm gonna drop a piece. That's good. It should be mate soon. Now, King E2 would not have helped. Okay, Asterbate. Very wild, and it would work against a lot of players, but I'm too strong, and you're not using all your time. He has one gear. So, guys, we're playing 5+3 through 7+3. Let me just see this opening, because this is, I maybe like once in my life ever really considered this. So there's like a computer game where white drew, Marcus Rager had a game with black. So I played apparently like the best line. I guess I stored this away in my memory bank somewhere. But for this is extremely dangerous. It's kind of like the Cochrane Gambit against the Petrov in terms of soundness. I played the best move according to Stockfish here. This is like Nefedov will start a conspiracy theory or something. I thought here for 5 minutes and played c6. It's like #1 move and a novelty according to this, small sample here. So c6, my contribution to opening theory, it probably has been played before. But it's nice to know that I found the best move. Okay, let's go on. So Nils is 5+3. Did I refute the Halloween Gambit? Anybody? We need 2 more days, man. Is c6 a novelty? I'm sure that's been played. My chess base is on another engine, another computer, another engine. It's on another computer. I took lessons at Tushar. Oh, that's funny. Alright. I'm shocked the engine evaluation only -1 pawn. I'm not shocked. I mean, I always dismiss the opening, but honestly, sitting in that position and really thinking for 4 minutes, I felt White's compensation pretty strongly. There was no question. It's not at all easy. And for a player who doesn't have a defensive mindset like me, or the ability to adapt a defensive kind of mindset, I think that could be a very dangerous situation. If you got a player who only knows how to attack playing black in that position, he's going to be in a very bad spot. Alright, so Nils, I rarely play the King's Indian lately, but it is part of my repertoire. Nils is like a theoretical expert. There's also f6. I mean, Queen e8 is like the main move. It's alright, Bob. My mom is 86 and she got taken in by scammers too. It happens, man, when you get older. Bishop d2. Like, okay, that's either bishop c1 or bishop d2. I think h3 is even a move there. How often do you play it? So I don't play the French defense. I only play it when I want Hikaru Nakamura to make his final GM Nord. For the most part, where I'm playing like Andrei Volokitin's dad, I really have played it like in 3. I've literally played the French in like 3 or 4 games in my life. So at that time when I played Hikaru in 2003, I was seriously thinking of playing the French. I had studied it and I'd been playing it in Blitz in preparation to possibly incorporate it. But I never did. I've done this with a lot of openings. I've like almost played things like the Dutch, the French. Now Nils is playing c5, and I'm trying to remember this. Is this theory? That looks wrong somehow. Nils might be confusing this with a different line, or else he knows something that I don't know. What about the Old Indian? Move 11. Well, you know the Old Indian is actually close to the King's Indian. They're essentially the same opening, I mean, just with a different move order. So, Queen c1, it looks like we've got to be a little bit careful here. I really have no clue if Nils is just making this up on the fly, or if this is like a real thing. Probably is a real thing. I don't know, knight b5, I can just take his bishop on d2 and then play, you know, give him the pawn on c7. I'm fine. I'm essentially, I'm axing a question. That's a very common mistake. Essentially winning a pawn, which is good. But we've got to be careful. Be very, very, very careful. Because White's pieces are pretty active and I don't have mega development here. So I was thinking queen e7, getting my queen into the vicinity. So what I took away from this is Bob, 30 minutes of meditation or exercise are as important to chess as the equivalent time spent doing puzzles. Look, man, I mean, Zlatko Lichess, a friend of mine, was a 2600 at one point, and he always insisted on taking a long walk like before his games, getting the blood flowing and stuff like that. So there's no doubt that exercise is really important. Now Nils is playing a little too quick again. I think he almost had compensation, but he didn't search hard enough for the best possible continuation. He just settled for like the second or third best. Now black is up a pawn. White doesn't really have adequate compensation. But there's no question, Bob, you're just stating the obvious. Meditation, exercise, these things are very good for you. Unfortunately in our society, myself and most people, we don't have time for enough of that stuff. Plus, you can meet hot women at yoga class, right, Bob? That's the real reason why you want to do meditation. Jacob Agard is highly regarded. I've never really read any of his books, but everything I've heard about has been really heavily weighted to the positive side. Where is our resident Dane? Yabatis. Yabatis, are you with us today? Do you have any references to Jacob? You say Jacob. How do you say it? It's like a probably Jacob. Agad. It's like Jacob Agad or something like that. Like they have an accent from Boston or something. The Ka. We park the Ka. Alright, that's enough of that business with my c-pawn. Chucky. Is Chucky into walking? Well, I mean, like, if you take... This is, like, because I'm hearing a lot about dementia and stuff like that lately. The blood flow to your brain is obviously very important, and exercising is critical. When you're young, it feels like it doesn't matter. Now I'm middle-aged. I get brain fog. I was talking to someone about this today, and I mentioned it before on the stream. I think exercise is huge. Of course, most chess players are retiring at the age of 30, so... You think it's more complex than just clearing the head with a walk? It's about learning to actively manage your emotions. Absolutely, Bob. Yeah, I mean, general health is one thing, but I actually used to go to a sports psychologist at one point, and to be perfectly clear, I actually had my best results around that time when I was seeing the sports psychologist, and we talked about a lot of stuff. And I studied psychology in college. I mean, there is a lot of stuff you could do, I'm sure. So let me get this clear here. What is going on? Oh, I dropped my queen. It doesn't mean everybody walk around. Yeah, I mean, I have this habit of walking around during my games. That's very, very bad. I did this at the Budapest Spring Chess Festival this year, and I was just excited because I hadn't played in a tournament in a while. And the thing is, if you're a social person, which a lot of chess players aren't, but if you are like I am, because I had people who criticized me, like I would never be a strong player because I'm too social. Literally, some people said this. But if you're if you're not an introvert, if you're a social person, I mean, I think you gotta watch your A pawn, but it's tempting to be in a social environment like a tournament or whatever, where you see a lot of people you haven't seen in a long time. This was the case for me, and I was just like really not concentrating well because I literally, I literally was excited to see people more, and I wasn't. I was just walking around looking at all these games. It's not good. I mean, you need to concentrate fully on your game. For as a professional, it's very important. It's okay to walk around, but I mean, Alexander Ivanov, I talk about a lot. He's a strong player who I know very well. Alex walks around, but his head is in the game all the time. This is why he got hit by a tractor trailer when he was driving one time, because he's literally thinking about his chess games all the time. He can like visualize the board. If you can visualize the board in your head and play blindfold, it doesn't matter if you're walking around at the tournament or not. I mean, you can be thinking about the game, and most grandmasters are doing that. You read today that Caruana runs 12 to 15 miles for his preparation. Wow. I haven't seen him, personally in a long time, but his physique is, good for that. Thin and probably, good at running. So Nils just disintegrated. And the opening was interesting. I don't know, though. I mean, is c5 like a mistake? Is this just a blunder? Appears to be a theoretical novelty. But I think if you took on h6, actually, I was under the impression here that you have some compensation. It looks like knight takes e4, knight takes e4, bishop takes h6, and the issue for me is that my king, even though I'm up a pawn here, I feel like my king isn't 100% safe. So surprisingly, Stockfish gives you compensation for this pawn here. Okay, Ignis, Aram, Blue Eyes, and then Clash Kid. Laluo, are you a subscriber or not? I gotta actually. Yeah, is Laluo in the house today? He was in the simul yesterday. Let us know if you're subscribed, Laluo. If not, I wait until the subscribers to play that game. Yeah, right. Yeah, there is a c5. Probably more than one variation in that line, and I'm not that refreshed on it lately. I used to play it a lot, like years ago. 10 years ago. I actually played both sides of that line, Nils. I had a really nice game once. I won against Walter Whitman, one of Clash Kid's countrymen, and Michael Rode did an article on it in Chess Life magazine. He had like game of the month or something like that, and this win that I had against Whitman with the white pieces in that knight a6 King's Indian was a really model game that I played like literally 10 years ago. So I am familiar with that type of line pretty much, because it helps if you play both sides of a variation to really understand. But even so, I felt like I'm not sure I remembered. C5 didn't look right, but if you don't review things, you forget them. Svidler is sort of But I mean, those guys at that level can walk around and think about the games in their head. But if you're not capable of blindfold analysis, you really should stay at the board, you know, in tournament situations. This is literally the first time I've ever seen this played. Wow. Knight f5. Crazy. So I think we take it, and we play knight takes e3, and we take that as well. And then we play g6. We take our chances here with the dragon. And this is one of many possibilities. I just feel comfortable with it because I like the dragon. And I think this is a position where the black bishop is extremely strong. And also opposite color bishop positions favor the side with the initiative. It's going to be sharper than your typical game, probably. But I'm very safe on the dark squares. He's not safe on the dark squares. He's got to attack me on the white squares. The game is quite dynamic. So I don't know if he really wants to make this exchange or not, because he improves my pawn structure. Queen f3. Now we need to stop and think for a minute. Because the natural thing is, say, castles, but my rook is already effectively developed, you know, on the h line, so it's maybe not the most efficient move for me. If I play knight e5, he has queen takes b7, knight takes e4, queen b5 check, winning back the piece there. So that trick is a little bit, maybe not what it's really cracked up to be. Yeah, leaving the board breaks your concentration, and the reason I brought up this last tournament I played where I did it a lot, and I literally caught myself doing it during this one game. I had gotten up for like the third time during the game to walk around, and I told myself, you got to stop doing this. Like, I had an internal dialogue at one moment during my game. You got to stop getting up during every move, and you got to concentrate and take your time. And I literally had blundered on that move, like where I was like warning myself. So this looks a little risky because I'm making another pawn move. I think everything is in order. Focusing on my pawns controlling like the white squares, and excuse me, these pawns control the white squares, the pieces control the dark squares. I have a better pawn structure. I'm not even looking at material, you know. This doesn't even factor in. That's just another thing for him to worry about. Nils says, I'm playing with the board and I go for a smoke. I don't calculate, but I think of strategic plans. Well, that's useful too. You know, talking to your friends about what are the best moves. No, I'm just kidding. There was this funny incident. I remember, speaking of Michael Rode, an American grandmaster, he was always kind of a jerk. You know, I'll go on record and say it. He was never very nice. But anyways, I remember there was this incident where two former Soviet players, Alexander Goldin and my friend Eldar Ibragimov, were outside smoking. Rode like freaked out. Just assuming like, you know, there people are talking about the game, but you know, not everybody who goes for a smoke is talking about the game. You can't just accuse people without evidence. So you're like, how can I sit in a chair for longer than 15 minutes? Well, I mean, maybe chess is not the ideal sport if you can't stay seated for more than 15 minutes. But blitz is good. So anyway, welcome to the stream, guys. Thanks, Merle, for the support, 100 bits. Thanks, everybody, for subscribing. We're going to be doing a viewer tournament tomorrow night stream with Rapid View Arena. So it's going to be 4:30, same start time, 4:30 EDT here. Blue Eyed Albino said thanks for the info. Okay, he's getting help by Infinite Flash Chat. No. He's getting helped by perpetual stalemate. Okay. So, knight a4 now. A strange move. Is this like some kind of tactical trick to get me to play like b5 so that you're... No, this is just a blunder. I can just take on c2. I try to teach everybody here, and I've learned myself to start thinking more in terms of principles. Try to stay principled because we're not computers, you know, and if we play perfect principled chess, it's a shortcut. You know, we don't have to be able to calculate perfectly. If we play according to principles, we can even make a few, you know, miscalculations here and there, and it'll all work out. Nils says the first tournament and a tournament I played, the first game and tournament I played, a friend of mine was also playing, walked up to my friend and said, well, you got it, you're clearly better, you just do this and this. Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people probably aren't going to be, you know, it's not just morality. They might not like the fact that you're telling them they want to do it themselves. They want to find the moves themselves. So Ignis Aram Probat is just off on some kind of misadventure here. I can castle at any moment, literally. And I probably should, but he's not playing according to principles. He started out okay, played that crazy knight f5, but okay, even there, he's just got to address the fact that his king is not safe. You know, it doesn't have any cover. He's moved the c pawn, the d pawn, the f pawn, the e pawn. The king's in the center of the board, no cover, rook's not playing, and you're going out on this adventure with your knight. Now, he did find this move, queen to b3, and it's sort of like temporary save. Queen h4 check, king d1. I might actually be in trouble there. So we're doing well, but I'm going to go with this. Don't ever give your phone number to an internet like website or page or anything like that. They're still calling with this health insurance offers. It's just ridiculous. I mean, they must give the number to like 100 different call centers. It was like the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life. Okay, now look at Ignis. So he's totally playing, you know, sharp tactically. He sees like the rook, you know, he's got the check. He's indirectly defending his knight. He's finding attacking ideas, but he's not, you know, really thinking about his own safety. See, at the end of the day, I'm gone, you know, I'm out of here and I'm safe and you're not. And that should decide the game now. It's just over. So neglect of king safety. I had king safety in mind. You know, I knew that I could castle. I had relative, you know, king safety even in the center. But he's burned his bridges behind him. That's why he's lost now. I don't think there's even a way to protect the knight. Maybe knight c8, but it should get trapped. White pages. I'm not going to try anything fancy. We'll just content ourselves with winning a piece. No matter how many times I ask people to take me off the healthcare list, I just keep getting calls. I've literally got 200 calls in the last 5 days. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like tired. You know, I'm normally kind of careful about identity stuff, but I was just kind of tired and looking up these websites. I was like, oh yeah, it's an official, you know, thing. It's like my mom subscribes to magazines. You know, they send these things in the mail, like trying to trick you to subscribe to magazines, basically. I don't know if this happens in Europe, but in the United States, they send you what looks like a bill for a, like, it looks like you already subscribed to something, and you get this thing in the mail that looks like a bill for something you subscribe to, but it's really like not. It just looks like that. And then so you send it in. If you're like an old person, you send it in, and then all you do is get subscribed to like a new magazine that you never wanted. It's so sick, and there's so many scams out there. All right, this has got to end now. So what do we take away from this game, Ignis Aram Probat? What do we see? He's got like aggressive intentions. He knows how to attack, but he's not thinking enough about his own king safety. So be more aware defensively, and take more prophylactic measures to make sure your king is safe. There, Blue-Eyed Albino, and then Michael. Let's see. No, we got Blue-Eyed Albino and Clash Kid. Michael, if you're a subscriber, let me know, because the subscribers get. Have you seen the predatory mailer that looks exactly like a traffic ticket, except for the small print? No, but I've seen another one that's very common. It's made to look like your car warranty, like you forgot to renew your car warranty, and it looks very official. Sick, man. I mean, in Europe, there's not a. It's funny, like living in Hungary, there's not as much of that kind of stuff that goes on. You know, it's like the scammers haven't really figured it out as much. Alright, guys. So just Blitz and Rapid Chess today. Tomorrow will be Rapid Viewer Tournament. Now, Blue-Eyed Albino, why did I see this the other day? Did we have a game in this? Somebody else played this against me. Normally, they pull the knight away from d4 pretty early in these type of lines. Yevgeny Bogoslavsky was a guy I played 2 years ago. This old IM in the U.S. Mail fraud, a federal offense. Well, I mean, what is mail fraud exactly? So 92. Okay. Maybe the laws are stricter in Europe. I don't know. It's just so easy to defraud people in the United States and trick them. It's just ridiculous. Bishop g2. I even saw this stuff, and it took me a while to realize it's not legit. Bishop g2. So, okay, the classic main line for black is castles. Yeah, this is theory, Blue-Eyed Albino. You can also play knight b3. So the classic main line, I had a game with a guy in Serbia in 2001, I think. Maybe it was 2000. 2001. Marinkovic, I think I lost. But I'm just trying to remember something else. So, wait a second here. My friend Emil plays somehow b6, but how do you play b6 here? Can we go rook b8? Yeah, you get the Nigerian scam emails. But who would, that's really far-fetched. Blue-Eyed Albino's nice. Yeah, dude, I've been playing chess for a long time. But it probably castles is the main line. Then you do rook b8 the next move. My friend had a game with black against Zakhar Yefimenko, where he actually had a good opening and then was equal. But Yefimenko just outplayed him later on. I wanted to try something here with black. Because with Marinkovic, I ended up losing. I wasn't really happy with the main line continuation, castle, castle. Let's say maybe h3. No, maybe it was a4. Castle, castle, a4. a6. Something like h3 or knight d5. Here I'm thinking, yeah, this is where we go on a different path. So we played rook b8 just so that this wouldn't be a tactic on the long diagonal. Because in my experience, those lines of castles, castles, b5, a4, a6, h3, b5, I always, with Marinkovic, I felt uncomfortable. I just, what am I doing by giving him the a file, I think I saw an Ivanchuk game. Speaking of Chucky, there was an Ivanchuk game, maybe. But this is similar to my game with Boguslavsky now. E6, knight takes f6. Or do we leave it there? I don't really like taking. There's also bishop a6. Then like rook e1, obviously. So maybe that's overrated. Yeah, this is probably a mistake. Maybe I should just go. Should have just gone. I should have just gone e6 right away. Yeah, now he instantly knows this. That's pretty disturbing. White might be better here. Because I can't afford to drop my pawn, can I? Maybe I can. No. I'm just calculating kind of a long variation. This is weird. I mean, let's try this. This just seems a little bit over the top, but maybe it's possible. I think this is not the main line. I have doubts about my decision to castle there. So knight f6, bishop f6, bishop f6, queen f6, queen d6, bishop a6. Queen takes c6, bishop takes e2, rook e1. Queen takes b2. Rook b1, queen takes a2. What is this, some sort of draw? So we're looking at chopping everything, then playing bishop a6. He has to play rook e1. I take it. He takes on c6. I take on b2. He attacks my queen, etc., etc. And Boguslavsky did something similar, like I think he interposed, or maybe he didn't take the pawn and he played like c3 or something in a similar sort of scenario. Yeah, now here he played this move. But that looks, it looks dangerous. We should have compensation. I mean, whatever happens here, should really have some sort of compensation. But how do we do this? I mean, his whole queen side is hanging simultaneously. Like knight, where do I go though? Knight e5. Kind of strange. He also self-pinned with that move. What is my b8 rook doing, literally? So he's going to play c3 next. Let's just say it. Say I do rook there. c3. That's the problem. He'll still have issues, pretty much no matter what. I'll always have compensation. The d3 square, if he plays c3, I have knight e5 with very serious threats. I don't know if I underestimated this move or not. Man. Okay, he's a pawn up. I'm willing to I'm willing to accept that. I'm sure that I missed better continuations. It was a troublesome position where I had a lot of different choices, and none of them were really 100% clear. But his queen is out weird, you know, he's got no control of the open file, so we have compensation for the sacrificed pawn. Maybe it's better to be up a pawn. I don't know. What do you guys think? Better to be up a pawn? I don't want to drop my other pawn now. So let's go here. Safety. Wow, f4. Can't be having any of that. Gonna keep his bishop shut down. I'm not sure about this move. I just wanted to free up the e5 square for my knight. It's probably not the best move. So Alex, thank you for the compliment. But this guy's tough. 2200. Consolidating. He saw that. He definitely saw that. I mean, the truth is I'm a pawn down here. Thought I was being a nice guy. But if you want to lose, I can arrange it for you. Maybe. This is where my friend, who also plays dragon, would overpress and like lose with black. Wow. Good defense. That was a long game. I don't get a draw. All right. So rookie 2 check. Yeah. I was probably better, but I thought I was not clearly better. So he was probably a little better, you know, at spots here and there where we misplayed the position too. I'm not sure White was ever lost. Like here, I'm a pawn down, but it says I'm slightly better. Alright guys, let's play another game. So Clash Kid, I've got to know if Michael is a subscriber. Michael Stedler. If you're not a subscriber, we'll play you next. Either way, we'll play you next. It doesn't matter actually now. If I had known he was a subscriber, I would have played him previously. Okay, guys, let's wake it up. Yes.
Well,
yes.
Yes.
All right, next game. Good draw. That's an annoying variation for Black to play against. Very solid for White. I had trouble winning, you know, and so I've had those two games that I mentioned against Boguslavski and Marinkovic. I'm trying to recall if there's any others. Clash Kid playing the Slav. No chances to win the king and pawn game. Well, he has what? He has the queen side majority there. I don't know. I don't think so. I didn't have really winning chances in the end game in any kind of king and pawn end game. What I want is good knight versus bad bishop. Some chances there. There may be, in fact, chances. We is challenging you. Weiss monsters. So I've got Infinite Flash next, who's a subscriber. And then I'll play... Oh, the guy left, actually. Michael left. So he would have been next. We'll see if he comes back. But I'll play Infinite Flash. Any subscribers first. So let's try something crazy here. Normally I play pretty calmly. Infinite Flash, just anyway, re-challenge me then. Michael is not a subscriber as far as I know. Yeah, just re-challenge me, Infinite Flash. Alright, we're gonna play sharply here. I've been a little bit sleepy. I need to wake up. I mean, I guess one of the cool things about bullet chess, like you have to be like really pumped up all the time to play like 1-0, but yeah, that's fun and exciting to watch. But you can't really get deeply into the game, you know. I mean, the danger is that if I play the longer games, they get kind of, you know, lazy and sleepy. And all right, so he plays sharply, takes on c4. Now I suppose bishop e3 would just be a target for, you know, the advancing queenside pawns. So I like this a little bit better. But White has to be really careful here, because the C line can be deadly for me. Cheering 1 bit. Who said that? Weiss monsters. Did you subscribe? I mean, did you cheer 1 bit? Bob, so he did cheer 1. Rufus and Doofus 2. Now b4 right away. Knight a4 could help to kind of defend me on the queen side a little bit. So rather than going to the center, I'm going to play this move with self-preservation in mind. It can actually shield me a little bit from the queen like coming out here. It also dissuades him from tries to dissuade him from playing c5. So I feel like that's a little more safe in some way than other moves. You had 50 and gave me half. Gave you half. You gave me half your worldly goods. All right. Well, we're gonna get to your challenge, Waste Monsters. If you can wait just a little bit. We've got enough time. You're on borrowed time, thanks to Nils. Infinite Flash. What do you mean? Oh, you mean the subscription. Okay, guys. Once again, tomorrow, 4:30 EDT. We're going to play a rapid arena. Blue Albino said I surprised you with Rook B8. Yeah, this is something I was preparing 2 years ago for Boguslavski. Actually, I had a friend who might have had to play that line as well, so it's like a double preparation. We want to get off the C line here. And it's possible we could bring this rook over and bring this rook over here, do a rook shift. So while it's a very wild way for white to play, with castles opposite sides, you still can play, you know, you don't have to play like an absolute maniac. You have to be careful about your king position. This is what I was telling Ignis earlier. You have to consciously think about the safety of your king as a concrete concept. Some people just take it for granted. I played a5. The first thing I think of is that he's thinking about bishop a6. Another tip, try to understand what your opponents are doing. If you don't, you know, oftentimes you're missing serious threats. It's tempting to play knight e5 here. Or we could try to do the focus rooks I was talking about. More of a prophylactic move. I'm kind of a little bit too much of a prophylactic player to be playing this system, I guess. You know, lately I've been playing more solid because I want people to use that type of style. Solid, accumulation of advantages. It's hard to teach people tactics, but you can teach people concepts. So I was thinking about this. I mean, you're dropping a pawn with check on h7. That doesn't seem healthy for black. And rather than concede, you know, you've got to fight for everything in this game. And I think this is an example where I probably could just lazily play bishop takes e7, but it gives him a little more room, and anyway, this is a useful move. So I'm going to take every little bit you'll give me. Oh, you're Michael Sedler, you're not a subscriber. Okay. Cool, awesome. That's election day here. I'll be I'll be voting for someone for my state elections on November 6th, Baltic Pike. But we're gonna get to those challenges, at least the top 3. I mean, obviously Infinite Flash, who's a subscriber. You know, we got time. We've got an hour and an hour and a half basically. State elections. Well, you know, it's not the presidential election. I mean, got governor, state representatives, you know, stuff like that. National and state, but I missed this move. F5 didn't occur to me. It makes a certain amount of sense for sure. But obviously I can go here, so my first priority is not to lose a piece. Fish, rat, cow. Mr. Coffee with 5. Mr. Coffee, no, 4. Mr. Coffee with 4 steals the spotlight and gets in second in bit donations. I haven't voted in a long time, guys. I'm not going to tell you who I'm voting for. I don't want to get too political. All right. Bishop g6. You should be if you're an American citizen, do your job and vote. I will encourage you to do that. The people should be heard. Bishop g6, saving the piece. That Clash Kid just basically blundered. I mean, he doesn't want to sacrifice h7. He didn't do this. He didn't do this because he wanted to do it. We understand the corruption that Ponda is bound to get rid of. That's why we left him in Hungary, because he's rooting out corruption in the Hungarian state right now as we speak. Knight e5, knight c5, g4, h5. Saying all these things out loud. Bob was talking about psychology earlier, and I mean, I've seen some poker help books, you know, self-help psychology books. This talking to yourself, Jonathan Rowson in chess talks about it in Chess for Zebras, or I don't know, maybe his other book. Talking to your pieces, you know. This is an example of an application of psychology, really. Knight on f6 now. I want to talk to my pieces. How you guys feeling? How's everybody doing? What I don't like is this e4 square, you know, how big a control he has over that. That's getting kind of irritating. He's obviously aiming for that. If you look at this position right now, So knight e5, I guess. I had an objection to this, but it's really nitpicking. Ban yourself for political topics. Alright. No, enough politics. We don't need more of that. Oh, JCS. He's our moderator. So Soltigos has a foot injury. He hasn't been in a while. Now he's obviously going back to d5 here. Or not. Now this move was another surprise. Wow. This was not expected. Knight g4. Now I've got some nasty looking ideas. Among them this one. Feels like white has a crushing advantage here. It's amazingly difficult to put him away though. I like queen e2. Back to the center. Center of the universe. Yeah, I mean bishop c8, as ugly as it is, dude, that was your only move, I think. And now for our next trick. I see this in your future, some sort of queen d5, but you can't do that and drop. You can't drop that guy. So now what does he do? I'm threatening maybe rook here. I don't know what I'm threatening though. There you go. Now I know what he's threatening. Clash Kid has been really patient here. This is ugly, but I guess I'm just gonna have to play f4. It's really ugly. I don't like it. Now he can just kind of hold on. Bishop takes c5. Yeah. Just hard for me to break through. This French defense like position. Even Botvinnik would be proud of black here, doing the impossible, essentially blockading on the white squares, like a winnower. So eventually we're gonna crack our way through here. Is it enough though? Maybe I should just, yeah. Let's just take that. You didn't want that, did you? E6. Alright, man. So who's up next? Fishrat Cow donated 100 for Ponda. Thank you so much, guys. Fishrat Cow, oh, Merle and Fishrat Cow are tied for the donation total for the week. I would vote for Ponda. E6. Yeah, that's over. Alright. So the next challengers are going to have to wait till we finish our subscriber games. Infinite Flash is next. Then I'll play these guys who waited. Surya, Weiss Monsters, Sayer. I don't know how you say that. If we get to Nikola Chess, he always likes to come really late. But we might get there. Camel Culture. Camel Culture is a subscriber too at this point. So Camel Culture can get a game. Guys, check out the Discord channel, Pub Sladgie on Discord. Can we get the Discord out there? Infinite Flash, guys. Also, I do have a YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube, where I upload all the streams and other fun stuff. There's that plane crash in Indonesia today. That's kind of scary. Knight f3. What are we gonna do? I don't know. I don't have too many games with Infinite Flash Chess here. I don't know enough about him stylistically. Discord. The Discord. Is it working? Yeah, Pub Sladgie Discord, now available to the public. Soltigo's kind of the manager of Discord, and he's been really under the weather, so Discord's been a little bit abandoned lately. Hopefully not for long. I've been really busy doing outside of chess stuff with my free time. Sorry. Hello. But hopefully we'll, I'm actually playing pretty well though. My simul on Sunday yesterday, I was undefeated. I'm moving twice in a row. What the heck? So Discord, it's like a kind of, it's a site for gamers basically. Video gamers. You can meet up. It's like a chat program for video gamers, among other things. You can do voice chat. That's its main point. All right, so the $1 million question here. I don't know the theory well enough. Oddly enough, I played this. I want to say the F word, but I'll be PG rated. This move here, knight f6, I tried a couple times, and I sort of swindled a couple people. Made them transpose to something. It's actually not a good move. I invented it, used it twice. Neither side exploited. Neither time they exploited it. Very strange. I'll play this weird move that's been played against me. My greatest game, one of my greatest games ever against Evita Radzievich, where she played this against me. I didn't win because of the opening, though. It's just a really great middle game and a combination. With Discord, we can voice chat while listening here. Flash is really good. I see he's 2000. I mean, and even higher in classical. So he takes on c5. I'm happy to see that because I don't think that's like White's best line, probably. We get a position that's pretty familiar to me strategically. Alright, so this kind of structure arises in the King's Indian and the Accelerated Dragon, two openings that I play. So I'm basically comfortable in either. Weiss Monsters was knocked off the leaderboard. Fishrat Cow, Merle Dixon. Oh man, Weiss Monsters was on 5, and Mr. Coffee made it 6. Mr. Coffee, that's this, man. Starting a bit war. So knight f6, e5, probably overextending a bit. But I think the d6 is a safe move, maybe to get in there. Make sure e5 never happens. So I think we could actually transpose to a game I had with Grigory Kaidanov if things went. That would be weird though. It would have to go. It would have to go like bishop g5, h6, bishop e3. That's not going to happen. But it's basically the same thing as my Kaidanov game. King's Indian. As I said, it can be a King's Indian or it can be a dragon, Marazzi style dragon, to reach the structure. But against Kaidanov, he played it was a Averbach variation of the King's Indian, and forced me to play h6, which would weaken my king side a little bit. Grigory. Yeah. Yeah, he's Russian. I did some commentary with Kaidanov a few times. Very knowledgeable player. He also is like one of the few grandmasters who has perfect score against me. He beat me 2 or 3 times. 3 maybe. Maybe just twice. No, I think there were 3. It's very unpleasant. Losing to someone 3 times. I always did something stupid against him. Like, he didn't have to do anything. I always played really, really badly for some reason against that guy. Like I was just an idiot. Some people do that to you. A white peacock. I saw a swan yesterday. We had turkeys in the yard. They're gone today. Now, I mean, now after knight d4, we basically have a dragon Marazzi here, you know, where I don't mind trading pieces. The rook b1, though, might be useful. Feels like I should exchange pieces. I have less space, and if I don't, he can go back with like knight c2 and all that type of stuff. But here I'm not sure, because typically I would play like bishop d7, bishop c6, but if he's going to try to do something like b4, I might want to play it differently. There's a question about my queen here. Something a little bit unusual about this particular position. I guess we're gonna go here because I want to put more direct pressure on c4. If he's gonna do something like b4, he's gonna weaken his c4 pawn. Typically I would put the bishop on d7. This could get a little bit sharp. I mean, he could try to go Shamkovich on me and play this. But then he's got to deal with that. Then maybe that's his best line, though, in fact. So I could have some issues. This weird move order. It's like a Marazzi, but he played a very specific move, like rook b1 in a Marazzi position where it's not typically played. That's why I was so silent and thinking for so long, because it's really, I can't compare this to any particular line that I know. And there could be some poison here. Okay, take care, Albino. Tomorrow, yeah, tournament, 4:30 EDT. Thanks again, Fish Rat Cow with 101. Fish Rat Cow with 101. And Merle with 100. Mr. Coffee with 6. But Mr. Coffee, it's not the size that matters. Alright, so 6. Guys, we're going to be streaming for another hour at least. Challenge me. I've got... Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll go in order. So, Surya, Weiss Monsters. I thought there was another subscriber lurking around. Sladgie Light, positional, very thorough, and rarely blunders. So he played b4. Okay, you know, this is quite an aggressive move. And also, well, I mean, maybe that goes without saying. It's a little risky. But he's put me in a position that I'm not super comfortable with, because I don't normally have this problem. I would normally have my rook like transferred already to c8 and be able to come back here with the queen. So I basically have to go here. Queen a3, rook b3. So here, which I'm not thrilled about. Occasionally you see this in the normal dragon. Probably my position is better than I give it credit for. You see like queen a5, queen back to c7, and some kind of normal dragon lines. Dim, what's up? Stock atrophied Komodo. The Discord. Now he just went with knight d5. Okay. Well, you know, this is like a conservative move, essentially. Maybe John Donaldson would play like knight takes d5 and draw. Maybe he's right. We'll try to draw. It's still not that easy. White has more space. But bishop takes is a different approach. CD bothers me the most. Well, black probably is okay here. So we give up the bishop. We play for dark square control. This was a risky continuation by white. I expected CD kind of extending his bishop here. But now what do we do? Riskier. It's still not super risky. A5? Anybody? Gotta like A5. He's got this trash compactor thing going on. Admittedly. Maybe this is a blunder, like takes, rook takes b7. Actually, I don't think that's a problem. A5. The A file has done a lot of service in my games. Has served as a means of counterplay in the accelerated dragon, time and time again. Counting on this here, and if he decides to do something crazy like play b5, then we'll block it up. You know, we'll block it up in the dark squares. But white is not worse here. Black is a little bit worse. Kind of typical suffering on the black side of Marazzi. So he decides to play it this way. And then, well, we've got to watch for c5, obviously. Unpleasant for black with less space. Maybe we can win on time. I mean, this kind of position in an over-the-board game, I would be like, okay, I'm not better, but I might be able to outplay like a weak player in the end game. Infinite Flash Chess is not a weak player by lichess standards, but he is, 400 points lower. So that's the kind of player where I would hope that maybe they could misplay an equal endgame. Obviously, Magnus would be, banking on the same kind of plan. 100 for the C file. Thank you, Tim. Thanks for subscribing and supporting the stream. So now bishop d3. Well, I don't think he can really bank on like attacking me in a traditional way here. But his queen is super strong. I have a book by Edmar Mednes called From the Opening into the Middle Game, and from the middle game into the end game, from the opening into the end game. 2-book series, or they were separate books, whatever. Mednes talks about this, like when pieces are really stationed very powerfully. I mean, that queen is just a monster. If you leave that there, you're gonna have a hard time surviving. So you got to realize when your king is weak, when the opponent has a really powerful piece. It's nice to say, I don't want to trade pieces, I don't want to trade pieces, but you got to play the position, and like, I don't know how to explain it. You have to kind of listen to the position, You can't just always do what you want to do. At least I don't think so, He played this move, but he's getting in time pressure. Queen c3 is interesting. Takes away one of my plans, which was here. So I can play knight e5 maybe. He's setting up c5. I've also got to watch this. So that's a kind of crafty move. I do have rook a2 though. What's up with that? He stopped rook a3, but he allowed rook a2. Getting our A file on. I usually try to dominate the A1 square when I play these kind of games. So yeah, I mean his bishop's ending up kind of restricted. Well, I don't see anything special. Heavy use of the A file. Kind of a cop-out to trade queens, though. Probably I shouldn't do that. If he's as good as I suspect he is. And, Come on. I was just kidding. Just kidding. What is my knight trap? Possible that my knight gets actually trapped there. Let's not then say we did. Now if I take it, still trapped. It's a very unpleasant position for white. No, I don't want to trade rooks. He has really good D. Whoa. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that was really tough. It's probably a position where earlier he was okay, but I got too much control of the dark squares. And I don't know, it was really even toward the end. I'm not sure if I was winning. I mean, if you defended. When you got rook on the 7th, I thought maybe I had up to screwed, but it's probably already too difficult for white. Here, like bishop e2, f4. I don't know if this is a great move by me. And then you played rook a2. And you got some counterplay here. Still, it's a very, very difficult position. Okay, guys, let's play as many games as we can get. So Michael Stedler dropped his challenge. He's back. Classic kind of endgame. I mean, if he was a master with white, he would have drawn. But computer draws. Those positions can be difficult, though. He could also take him back with the C pawn on d5 and played, a much more simple, like, symmetrical structure. But it's like if you're trying to win, the ED was kind of interesting. I don't know. 10 moves ago, the bishop was free. Maybe. I didn't think anybody dropped a piece, but maybe. Okay, so bishop c4. This is kind of weird without black playing like d6, I think. But it's okay. It's fully playable for white. I used to think that this was silly, but it's not. It's really like a defensive formation, essentially, for white, with colors reversed. It's not that bad. C takes d5, knight takes e4. Oh, you had like a piece hanging or something? Very possible. I was not calculating too many tactics. Just trying to not lose on time. Yeah. Piggy in Space. Must be a Muppet Show fan. But it was kind of interesting the way that he played with Rook b1 in the opening. I mean, I think that white managed to get an advantage. And probably black, me, did something wrong. Now, Michael Stedler here is playing d4. And I had a discussion, Yabatis, our subscriber from Denmark, talked to me about this. And Yabatis was like, well, I think this is bad for white, to play bishop c4 in these type of open Sicilians where black has a pawn on e6, because you're just attacking this granite here on e6, and that's probably true to a great degree. Well, you don't see this. This is a Paulsen where basically white has played bishop c4. In other lines, if I was to play d6 here, we would actually transpose to like a Sozin Sicilian, which I played myself with white. But I think that we don't do that. Keep this solid and try to play a different type of formation. Queen c7, and maybe like a6. This is like... So that bishop on b3 has some questions to answer, in other words. Hopefully. I might have had a trick. Like, sometimes there's really weird tricks with queen a5 check, queen e5. I've seen some strange variations. I might literally be able to... Or even queen a5 check, queen b4, here, here. Or some other strange lines like queen a5 check, queen c5. I feel like most of those tactics are usually sort of gimmicky, but maybe that actually works here. Queen a5 check, queen c5 with the double attack on those two pieces would force him to do something he doesn't want to do, basically take on c6 with his knight in order to not lose a piece. We'll have to look after the game, but that could be very strong. Of course, he can play just queen a5 check c3, and that probably equalizes. Answer my own questions makes it easier if we answer our own questions. Alright, we'll take this way. This is not very aggressive, but black has nice dark square control. Pigs in Space. It's one of the best skits on the Muppet Show. Yeah. D takes C. This is boring. Boring, but very solid for black. It's much riskier to take the other way with the B pawn. And even queen takes is totally viable for black. You play queen d3 after queen c5. Well, that position, we're talking about, like, what was it? I did queen c7. So let's say queen a5 check. If he plays knight c3, I play queen c5, and I'm threatening to win a piece. So there's no way he would have to do knight takes c6. He literally has to play, I think, queen a5 check c3, and that's okay for white, probably. So now we play bishop d6. This is a threat that we don't want white to play. So bishop d6 actually looks pretty good. One of my ideas when I played this dc, try to make my bishop really good. Make our bishops great again, right? MBGA. Get some hats printed out. This bishop needs to be made great again, but we have plans for him too. That will come out. This diagonal, possibly here. But I mean, as it stands now with the pawn on e4, you know, we're not looking for bishop b7 on a granite pawn. Now he played g3. This is an interesting move. So he weakens the white squares around his king, but he can always fall back with that misplaced bishop, you know, in fianchetto style anyway. So I was thinking of going postal here with h5, like Ted, but h5. So h5, bishop g5 doesn't scare me. Okay, let's have some fun. It's a little unsound. Maybe a little unsound. It's okay to be a little bit unsound. It's not a lot. Could he play queen d3? We answered that question. Okay, guys, it's 7 o'clock is the end of the stream. So we're going to play as much as we can until then. Bishop f1. That's cool, Acerbate. So now we can go really crazy with like h4. Bishop takes h4, rook takes h4, sacking in exchange. That's just totally unsound. I was thinking maybe knight g4. Knight g4, I don't know. I like how his bishops are just hanging. You know, they're both on prees. Alright. Man, he has tricks with e5, actually. I can get mated down here. I'm literally neglecting my development, but maybe now that he's played g3, we can seriously consider the option of like b5 and bishop b7. I'll have to contact my old friend Midzis from Latvia. He's a big Taimanov Sicilian guy. He would always play these structures. I don't know it too well. I never play this pawn structure. Maybe here or there I've had a couple black side of the Sicilians where I got this, but it's very rare for me. I can think of two occasions where I played like this. Both draws. Now it's looking like f2 is terminally weak. This move is quite passive. So, bishop c5. Bishop c5, take, take, take. Be careful that back rank mate. It's easy to forget about that. I could also play e5 here. I mean, e5, that's taking away the e5 square from my own guy. I think I need to play this. We'll sack a pawn. Sack a pawn if necessary. We've got great compensation. This is just a beautiful position for black, I think. But I don't see a forced win. He's not losing by force. Bishop takes, pawn takes, and then he can play. He doesn't have to take the pawn either. Or either, if you prefer. e5, maybe. That's actually a little scary. e5, rook h5. Queen takes g4 now is becoming a good move. So this might actually cause me serious problems. No, I mean, that was your golden opportunity to play that. Man, this is possibly saving white altogether and casting my whole concept into doubt. I mean, after e5, now black is better, no doubt. How much better? Bishop e3, queen b6, take. A little bit better for black. We also have the h-file, though. The h-file is massive. Not sure this is even a good move. But I am attacking something. I didn't want to take and bring his rook into the game, essentially, you know. We're trying to limit the enemy pieces. Now, I want to quickly get bishop e6, try to get the d-file. And we're working. He's got knight c3 here, just developing. And I can try to do a pawn grab. Bishop takes, rook takes, queen takes b2, but that's very greedy. Yet maybe good. Okay, this looks like a bit on the materialistic side. You know, time is an important element, and maybe costs white a lot here. Worrying about that pawn. How quickly can I checkmate him on the h-file, or just overwhelm him? The luckiest ones. That's what happens in poker, generally. Okay, so now he has a very strong threat here. Rook d8. But he's hanging on. Could play the endgame, but I think this endgame is actually holdable for white. So I prefer. Man, I could castle. It would be like an American tragedy to castle. The h-file comes to naught, and he's done a good job. He's done kind of a good job, let's say, keeping the tension in this game. People generally are very, very poor at maintaining the tension in life and in chess and everywhere. But Michael's done an excellent job. So Amy's calling or something. We got a message from Amy. Hold on. Nope. Wasn't from Amy. Alright. Sorry. False alarm. Alright, knight a4. Now that knight is it's pure evil. I don't know what I'm thinking about here. Try to stay a little bit active. But he's 1697. He's done a great job. Actually, he's 1200 in blitz, 16 in rapid. When someone calls for me, it was just a Facebook message. I gotta turn that off. That doesn't do that all the time over silly things. So look at this guy. He's so solid, my god. Now he's sacking a pawn. And I'm calling him solid. But obviously take on a7. Opposite color bishops looks a little bit weird. I don't think I like that. Man, he's done a great job here. Maybe white's better. Maybe I will have to castle. What am I going to do with my queen? I think I just misplayed. I'm getting outplayed completely. Maybe I'll lose. Alright, I'm secure though. g4 is secure. I've got an escape path for my queen. Thing is, I'm going to have to castle kingside, which is hard to accept, you know. It's hard to accept when you can't be as aggressive as you hoped. seems really good. No, he just gave up the d4 square, which could be risky. Actually, the last move may have been bad. Maybe I should have just played queen d2 and gone for a trade of queens at this point. Now that he's weakened some squares, symmetrical endgame. What did he do? Rook ed1. Yeah, this is sad. I'm going to have to castle. Because king e7 is out. Unless I want to sack a piece. Really good game by white, though, to stay in it. Very solid, amazing for this level, to keep the tension for so long. There's, I guess, the tactic. I win a pawn. Alright. We finally got something. So that should be majorly problematic for white. Because otherwise I'm very solid, and he just dropped a pawn. 2. Time pressure. Melting down. It's increment, and a lot of people aren't used to playing with increment. I try not to panic because it is increment. Yeah, I'd be panicking in sudden death here. He just lost like all of his pawns basically. So there's no way that white should survive. I mean, we're just up 3 pawns on the queen side for free. If it's 3, it's for me. Continues to harass me here. And quickly, too. I'm just going to lose a pawn. Wow. Maybe 2. He's coming back huge. He's 1600? Wow. No, he's 1200 in bullet. I just dropped all my pawns. How is he 1200 in bullet? Maybe just his endgame is bad? Oh my god. Really bad. He's terrible. I shouldn't have hesitated there. He's not really terrible, I was just joking. Man, this was sketchy. I almost screwed it up. Can you fix your mic? What's wrong with my mic? So can you specify? What's wrong with the mic? It's not working? My Mitch? Can I fix my Mitch? Hello? 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 Making an alien gun sound. That's weird. I don't know. Is anybody else experiencing that? The alien laser sound? If I could get more information about what that sound is. It's not my mouse, but my mouse is like nowhere close. It's nowhere close. Refresh the page. Got rid of it. I don't think it's actually my mic. I don't know. Static issues? Oh, from the cellular device, you think. Who's the genius who said that? So you think it's Juicebox? That's possible. Okay. Possible to mobile device. That must be it. It's not actually my mic itself. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, okay. Juicebox, heads up, man. So good to see you. Dim with 150 bits today. Fishrat Cal, Merle Dixon are the leaders. Got 92 viewers. Excellent, guys. We're going to play tomorrow night a viewer arena. Rapid 7+2. Sparkle Horse Arena. Nefedov's here and Sladgie fan. So, how much time do we have left? 40 minutes. 1, 2. You know, these guys are subscribers, so I got to take them first. Nefedov and Sladgie fan. Then we'll get to at least those first two. So I guarantee Surya and Weiss monsters, but the rest I can't. Promise. Okay, Nefedov came in with a 7+3 challenge. I normally, typically in the past, didn't keep my mobile device, but with Amy likely getting messages at any moment. Alright, so what are we going to do with Nefedov? I wanted to try to address this Queen E2 nonsense in the Petrov. The Benko Gambit isn't really in my repertoire, Ghost, DBC. But maybe like for Wednesday's stream. I play unusual openings on Wednesdays, and that's definitely not a usual opening for me. Although I do play the Blumenfeld Gambit, which is kind of a relative of the Benko. I just don't know the Benko very well. Maybe Wednesday. Surya's like, play my challenge. Alright, dude. Sure Bob won't mind. But I've got to really honor these subscribers. Nefedov would have let you. But Bob is mean like that. 50 more for... Yeah, you're welcome, Baltic Pike. Good game. You played really well for your rating. You probably were almost holding on there. Queen E2, so... What was I saying? Bob is mean. Nefedov is a sweetheart. He always gives up his spot to other players. I'm sorry, Bob. I don't know why I like picking on you so much. So I've played badly against Nefedov in this line before. Bishop G5. So the last time was like, yeah, we got to do this queen trade on E2. Last time I played C6, we got into a really weird situation after knight E4. So I was supposed to do this first. And Nefedov just concretely playing for a draw. It's just, it's brutal. You're always naming names again, Bob. Alright. So this is kind of one of the lines. H3 looks really conservative. Typically white would castle queenside, put his rooks in the center, and then do something like knight to d4. I'm not really sure about h3, what that's about. You know, I mean, am I going to put my knight on g4? You know, last time, or one game, maybe Nefedov allowed that? I'm just not sure. I mean, it seems like, okay, I need to get developed. So it is tempting to play, like, say, bishop e7. But on the other hand, should I restrict his knight? And if I play d5, maybe my bishop can go out to a more active square rather than the traditionally passive e7. Sorry about this. I see passive and I think Petrov. The Petrov. The Russian master. Vadim. Was it Vadim? What was Petrov's first name? Little trivia question. Vadim? Or Vladimir? A3, H3, A6, H6. Very incisive. I could go here. That seems kind of weird. But seriously, alright. He still has this. This annoying knight, like, dropping on F5 all the time. That's not a joke. Man, alright. We gotta play fast. Nefedov's moving quickly. Alexander Petrov. Thank you, Nikolaos. have a book, The Soviet School of Chess, which is really an old title, from like the 30s, I think. 30s or 40s. It was like a collection of examples of all the greatest Soviet grandmasters. It's an old hardcover. I found it in like a used bookstore one time. Once in a while you can find some really cool chess books in used bookstores. But you gotta find old places, you know. The East Coast of the United States isn't too bad for like antiques and old books and stuff like that. So d4 here. This is my big plan, to take control of e4. But we gave Nefedov a tempo, you know, with d4 essentially, forcing him to change structure. We were just having fun. Who thought you were having a meltdown? JCS thought Bob was having a meltdown. We're just playing around. Alright. BB4. Serious threats. Nefedov's strong. He's a strong player. He's very solid. He knows his openings. He knows his systems. He's about 2,000 strength, I think, FIDE. But his ratings here don't really reflect it. I mean, you start to see with the rapid rating of 1910, this is like totally deceptive that he's a beginner. He's actually quite well trained. But sometimes he makes blunders. Once in a while, Nefedov just like overlooks pretty obvious tactics that I think keeps his rating down. Acerbate, what's up? You're an alien, a brain slug. Once you played against a guy who was intentionally making weird noises. The worst is when people are just like eating at the board, man. It's so gross. The opponent is like eating a submarine sandwich loudly. Okay, so Nefedov totally disrespected me with a3 now. I think there's something wrong with that move. Alright, man. I'm coming in. Knight e4, knight here, knight here. We're on that. All different stuff. You asked for it, you got it. What can I say? You've done that a few times, eating a Subway sandwich at the board. If you want to devastate your opponent, that's like the most brutal. The most brutal. There was a kid in the last tournament I played in eating something that was like these granola type of bars or something. Not a kid, actually. It was an adult. He was a young adult. But, I mean, there was a problem because he wasn't just loud. It was like the dual sense experience. So I wouldn't mind it if it was like either smelled or was loud too. But it was both. You know, and that was... It just pushed me over the edge. This guy, I know him. You know, he's an alright guy. But it just was too much. I couldn't take it. So we're going to play f6 here, I think, and take the fun out of life for Nefedov. No more tricks on the dark squares. You give me my king a key square here on f7. I don't mind, you know, either it's loud or it smells, but not both. Because that was like, you know, I could close my nose or just cover my ears, but it was like both senses were too much for me. I was getting really annoyed and I kept like passively aggressively looking at my opponent, you know, because I was uncomfortable really confronting the guy about it. I felt bad, so all I did was, let's say, look at my opponent and make faces, you know. Very mature response. What can I say? It was my way of acting out. Juicebox is right. Oh. So the guy, yeah, we're back on that again. Yeah, I mean, eating during streams, dude, that's just gross, dude. It's just gross. I wouldn't, even for a minute, tune into a streamer who did that on a regular basis in a disgusting way. That's just disgusting. You might as well like take a dump on stream. Equally disgusting. No, that's inexcusable. You don't do you really seriously think people are gonna accept that as cool, you know? No. Alright, so now Nefedov getting the king in the center. We're gonna play knight a4 the long way. But I'm calling this bluff. I don't see it here. I just don't quite see it for white. He's down a pawn, and we're going to make him pay the ultimate price. As long as you're quiet about eating, yeah, I agree. You know, I mean, Infinite Flash Chess, it's okay to have a little bit of food, you know, but eating a big, huge food, you know, the Subway sandwich is pretty classic. Meatball sub, you know, something loud and gross. It's just, I start remembering this guy. It wasn't against me, but I was like adjacent to someone who was dealing with that in a tournament, and I felt for them. So this was a really good move. Nefedov getting like desperate to find counterplay, and he did find counterplay. So now we have to really deal with a lot of new concepts. My knights are all over the place. See, he's not your typical, like, you know, 1400 bullet player. Though I don't put any stock in bullet. But let's say his blitz rating. His blitz rating is 1677. That is a lie. He gets mad. I all the time bring this up. But every time I play him, I have to, like, explain myself. Like, why am I struggling with this guy? He's 1900, though. That's respectable. In rapid. Spaghetti and meatballs. I don't eat on stream, period, you know. I will drink beverages, but it's, you know, it's kind of, for me, it's like I don't associate eating with chess, you know. What happened? Where did that come from? Impulses. I rarely laugh out loud on the stream, but that's just ridiculous. Alright. So we're going to have time for at least Sladgie fan, and then Surya and Weiss Monsters. The Weiss Monsters should re-challenge me to 5+3. Because 5-5 is like... No, actually 5-5 is okay. I forgot. I allow 5-5. No one ever challenges me in that time control, though. Very funny. Never mind. Don't re-challenge me. Don't listen to me. Just do it. Just don't. So now Nefedov has new ways of causing problems. Opposite bishops. Let's do opposite bishops. He likes it, opposite bishops, because that lends itself to draws. Nefedov is he's a bigger fan of draws than me, which is hard to do. You know, it's really hard to do. Like, seriously. He's a draw expert. But this is not a great obstacle or bishop position because we're coming for you, Nefedov. We're guarding the e7 square, and we're going to massage White's position now. I mean, he's down a pawn, and if you're playing a position opposite color bishops, there's a lot of pieces on the board and stuff. It's usually pretty difficult to hold. He also has a lot of weaknesses on the white squares. Nikola Chess is don't sleeping and waiting to play 2950. 24th 93. Oh, Nikolaus, that's you. Okay. You're not the only Nikolaus here. G takes F. I'm almost 2950. I mean, I'm close. Let's do H5. The white square is just melting down. But Nefedov, really, he squeezed every little trick he could get. He's just down a pawn here, and he's facing bishop d5. We managed to take him out. Good job, us. The evil Nefedov has been stopped with the queen e2 Petrov. Alright, we did good job there. We were never in any danger. We were equal, and he started to fall apart. Good job, us. So Sladgie fan. Alright, Sladgie fan's up next. You see, the problem with Nikolaus is that he keeps showing up like too late, and then just repeats and rinse and repeat. Like, you have to come at the beginning of the stream. If you're not a subscriber, because that's the other option, you could subscribe, or you can come at the very beginning of the stream and be like the first person who challenges me who's not a subscriber. But you can't come late and not be a subscriber and expect to necessarily play. Fridays are also better, because on those days we're going to play d5 for something different. On Fridays I don't take just the subscribers first, so that's a good day to come. Or just come tomorrow and hang out and play in our tournament. Your mobile won't let me clip, but he began at 6 what? Oh man. Poker game with your old friend Sladgie. Yeah, Emil I saw about a month ago. C4, D takes C4. We played poker together about a month ago. Nikolaus. I don't know, I like the Queen's Gambit accepted. I've experimented with it in some games with not a lot of success. Not an easy opening to learn for black. But I like it because you're not... What I like about the Queen's Gambit accepted is that you're not tied down to defending... Yeah, I mean, like, the best thing that ever happened to Ben Feingold's stream was Juicebox Wizard. He's, like, really advertising hard now. For Feingold. He's like, what is Feingold's channel name, sorry. E4. Alright, we're going to play E5. See, sometimes negative publicity is the best kind. E4, E5. So, Nikolaus. We did see our old friend. So, Sladgie fan there. Bob's prepared with the E4 against the Queen's Gambit accepted. Nice. This is like the sharpest way that White can deal with this opening. E4. There's many moves for black here. Nice. So I'm really out of book. I haven't looked at this in literally 20 years. And even then I didn't know it too well. It was another one of those openings that I talked about earlier that, like the French defense. Cool. I don't either, Bob. But I know knight f3 is like the main move. There's no question. So good job, man, for someone who doesn't know what they're doing. To find the best move there. When all these pawns are hanging and stuff. You know? You could say that it worked for Trump. Exactly. Exactly, Juicebox. You took the words out of my mouth. So just keep doing bad things and your, publicity will go up, I guess. Knight f3. So there's bishop e4 check, and there's just takes on d4. I guess those are the two things I can do. Well, I know the main line is ed, bishop takes c4, knight c6. And the other line is bishop check, bishop d2. Takes, and then, takes on d4. Let's try the full-blooded approach here, where we don't trade any pieces. Really bad choices with the spots for your pieces, said Nefedov, talking about the last game. What went wrong for Nefedov, really? I mean... I think... The thing was, when you played d4 and I played bishop b4, that position you have to be aware of what I'm doing. I mean, it's pretty obvious that I'm intending to take and play knight e4. And you didn't seem like you were prepared. I figured you'd have something prepared. So here, Bob takes with the knight. Now that's not the normal move, and that's the benefit of theory. Like bishop takes c4 is a massive amount of theory. It's like bishop takes c4, knight c6, and then it's just crazy gambit style play that looks like it came out of an e4 e5 opening, which I don't know well enough. But I know that this is not typically played. So knight d4. What's the problem with knight d4? I can play bishop e4 check, and that's kind of... Although there's knight c3. Maybe this isn't so bad for white, actually. Like, there's no refutation. I don't think that c5 is a great move. And I'm not sure that black can even try to hold on to the pawn on c4. So it becomes a question of really what's the best thing to do here. To like develop a piece with knight f6. Knight takes d4. There's also queen takes d4. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think even Karpov might have played this. You can trade queens and go into an ending where the c-pawn will die, and white might have like some kind of tiny advantage. But knight takes is the most rare of the three moves, I would guess. What's the problem, though, for white? I mean, why is this not played? Reminds me somehow of the queen's the Roy Lopez exchange variation, but my pawn is like there. It's strange. Yeah. All right. So knight f6, bishop e4 check, bishop e4 check. He has actually two moves there. Queen takes, bishop d2, or knight c3. They're both playable. Bishop e4 check, bishop d2, queen takes d4, bishop takes b4. Be like a weird ending. But I definitely need to get developed. I was talking about Ignis earlier in the stream, disrespected his king's safety. And here I can't do that too. I mean, I've got to be aware that in a few moves, my king could come under fire. And I need to get my king to a safe position. So, to make a long story short, I'm just going to play this. I have no idea if this is the best move for black. But it's certainly like one of the most fundamental. Getting my king to safety. Attacking his central pawn is secondary. I don't know if I can even take this pawn in an open position. I mean, I'll probably get just killed, you know, very quickly if I try to take the pawn. But eventually it will be possible. Nefedov said eventually I'll run out of openings. I hope he stops playing the Roy Lopez versus me. Yeah, well, I don't like playing against your Nefedov. Your Schliemann is unbeatable. So knight c3 from Bob, good move. Now it should be noted that bishop e4, queen a4 check, knight c6, knight takes c6, bishop takes c3, bc, bc, probably good for white. So we don't want to do that. I do have bishop c5. And maybe we're onto something with bishop c5, because bishop c5, bishop e3, knight g4, like in the Sicilian. That looks kind of good. I'm feeling this. I had this last move too, but I didn't have knight g4 as a follow-up. So I'm thinking here, here, here. And then, does Bob have some weird move? No. There's no checks or discoveries or anything. So this seems right. It feels like that's got to be... And it's also very, very fundamental, like Morphy. We're just bishop c5, knight f6, castle. You know, this looks totally correct. We both have no preparation. Nefedov asked what's wrong with c5. Now, the whole is like here on c7, Pavel. I don't know. I mean, you could try c5. You could have tried it like straight out of the gate here as well. And I know that one thing, you know, there's a fork on c7, so we're going to have to let him into b5, which I'm not super happy about here. But I mean, I think with every move, your c5 idea becomes a little more viable for black. If you play c5, though, you have to keep in mind that like it's possible he'll own d5 forever. There could be really big ramifications about this square never, ever, ever being under control if we do push that pawn up. So it's a very serious commitment for black. Yeah, we're seeing that variation now with... Yeah, Asterbate's on the same page. What if bishop e3? Yeah, this is critical. Looks right. He could play something funky like bishop takes c4, knight takes e3, queen f3. There's some cool variations. Why not that? You know, there's a problem. No, that makes sense. Let's see, bishop c4, that doesn't work. No, my knight on e3 will take his bishop on c4. Okay. What about queen h5? No. No, the problem with bishop c4, I take on e3 and it's under attack immediately. He'll have to recapture. I think that's an interesting line, Bob. Bishop c4, knight e3, fe3, just go for it and play it like a Karaklaj variation of the classical Sicilian. You're basically screwed the pawn structure. I've got active pieces, and it will carry me, you know, through. Other than that, though, you know, what are you going to suggest for white here? Yeah, I think he's got to do this. And we have a nice pawn structure, but he does have good pieces and pressure on f7. So I've got to be careful. Like in the variation I was talking about in the classical Sicilian. Check doesn't do a whole lot. I need to castle. He's going to castle. I can't stop him from castling. I can try to defend as best as I can defend. In other words, like castles, knight d7 with the idea of I don't have a better idea. Knight d7 with the idea of getting my knight here. White has counterplay. I could play knight c6. Maybe that's better not to even gamble at all. Knight c6. There's some tricks there, though, like knight takes c6. Queen takes d1. Oh, I see. So let's say castles, knight c6, knight takes c6. B takes c, bishop takes f7 check. Maybe not the end of the world. He also has rook takes f7 there. So this is a very, very important point. And I would like to secure it, but I don't have... There's also this very, very secret move over here. Wow. Scary. Very active pieces for white. Black is like millimeters from getting crushed. Knight c6. Knight d7. And I'm scared. Okay, maybe we need to find some sort of tactical solution here. Queen g5. He has queen g5. I'm scared, man. I'm scared. You've got threatening pieces. Now this is not Bob's third game. He's got another account. He played against me. So we played before. Not so many games as some people. But one more game after this, guys. Weiss Monsters. We're not going to get to another game after that. This move feels wrong, though. It feels like white should have a tactic here. I don't see it yet, but it's coming. Yeah, this was a big mistake, probably. This was probably a very large mistake. Feels wrong. Probably is wrong. Intuition should count. Bob is better. Nefidov says, I don't have a book of funny stories. Prefer to be on the other side of the stream. Yeah, this, I don't know what I was supposed to do, though. I didn't really like this queen coming out to h5. That's one of the reasons why I played queen g5. Not to play for cheap mates that I'm never going to execute. But I think queen f3 here, and Sladgie fan is still better. Probably have to sacrifice the pawn on f7 to bishop takes f7 and just allow that. So I have to play queen f3, knight c6, bishop takes f7 check, king h8, and go. You know, go from there. He saw it, he heard it. Alright. Yeah, he just listens to my suggestion and then plays them. It's very apparent. Bishop takes f7 check. But where's the follow-up? Does he need one? This reminds me a little bit of the Scotch, actually. Doesn't it? There's some Scotch lines where something like this could happen, I guess. Looks like, you know, losing the f-pawn is not the problem. The problem is, you play my suggestions for the benefit of the viewers. The problem is my king safety is in question. That's why I'm in trouble here. It's not about losing a pawn. Yeah, he finally didn't blunder. So bishop g4 gets kind of weird. Looks like it's good, but then you see... Okay, I'm concerned about my back rank, but it looks like this wins, but it doesn't because he has queen g3. And then I have bishop d6, and then he has like knight e6, some weird defense. So I see this, this, and then this. And I'm not really sure what's going on. I don't think his last move was... Yeah, this was the key line. Here, here, here. But apparently I'm just better. Bishop takes, then he takes g5, bishop takes d1. Okay. So he's already screwed it up. Thank you for already screwing it up. Let's see after knight c6 what was really going on. So the truth is that I'm okay. The queen f3 seems like the best move. And I found the best defense. It was a pretty good game up to this point, Bob. So after takes, you need to just chill out and like maybe see the threat of this and just take on c6. Okay, take here, take here. What do you do though? You can get out of the pin with queen h5. Interesting game. All right, we played it all right. Weiss Monster's last game for today. I'm sorry. I know lichess will be angry. Everybody is angry that doesn't get to play, but it's just like I have to do other stuff. So this is our last game for today. If you come for another stream, lichess, we'll try to get the game in for you. Or just off stream, I'll try to play you one time when you're around. But I have to go at 7. It's almost 7 now. So we are appreciative of you guys. I play all different lines against the C3 Sicilian. I've never been happy with one, and this is why I don't have a good score against this system, because I didn't stick with one thing throughout my life. Probably played d5 more than anything else, though. Though I've mixed a lot of different systems in here. Weiss Monsters. How strong is Weiss Monsters? A solid 1900. You're welcome. I've played this. I was one of the first to start playing this, but you know, objectively, I don't think this is any better or probably as good as some of the main lines. I just played it 10 years ago in a few games because I realized that this is before it became popular. I caused its popularity essentially. It just hasn't been explored or hadn't been explored at top level chess, so I just decided to play bishop f5, and I beat a good player and I drew a good player with it before I retired from chess to play poker for a long time. Now knight a3, yeah. So there was a time when I actually knew what I was doing here, but I haven't played this variation in ages. So I think I'm supposed to play this and be able to deal with knight b5, you know, in a couple of different ways. There's castles and there's rook c8. But I just decided to play this on a whim. It would be better to remember what I looked at, you know, 10 years ago if I was going to play this. The last time I played this was probably around 2008, and it was an unpleasant game. A low-rated player who took on c5 in a tournament here in New England. I think he just took this and went into the end game, and I was very disappointed. I managed to draw, but I never really had any winning chances. So that's a problem. If you like to play the endgame type variations, you can always do that. Is it my turn now? No. He's thinking. Okay, guys. So it's Wednesday, no Tuesday tomorrow. It'll be rapid tournament. Knight f3 now. He's kind of mixing between the two different ideas of some knight b5 or maybe bishop here. Yeah, I don't remember my games really in this line at all. But I'm looking at CD knight b5, queen e4 check. Maybe bishop c4 for white. Queen e4 check. That's crazy. And then king f1. I mean, this is an idea borrowed from some other lines. Right. So I thought this would be crazy. Queen e4 check. Bishop e2. d3. Castles. Pawn takes e2, knight c7, mate. That's obviously what we're aiming for. Asterbate would appreciate this variation. I guess I was going to play this. I mean, is this just seriously? He's going to do this? Just for fun, guys. We're just doing this for fun. Kicks and giggles. It's the last game of today, and I don't really feel like thinking anymore. So we're just going to go with our intuition into insanity here. Trying to hang mate in one. Okay, so king d8 or king d7? Does that matter? Does it matter? Where's the answer? Someone answer me. Now we're hoping that we could trap his knight, you know, on the side of the board. That was the big idea here. If we can trap his knight, then we'll be alright. And the fact that that rhymes is absolutely, purely coincidental. Now, he's getting greedy. This guy's pretty crafty. We need to play f6, it looks like. Last game, guys. Gotta go. So it was fun. Yeah, Nicholas, we knew each other. Would you reject me as a student if I wanted to take lessons? Certainly not. Certainly not. I like bantering with you, Bob. But yeah, I would not reject you. So what's up, Mr. Knight? Mr. Knight has to be corralled in the corner, and if I can corral him, I'll be alright. White has difficulty controlling the white squares because his white square bishop is gone. Knight c7 e5, we unplug it. It's the Roach Motel. Europeans won't appreciate what I'm talking about when I say the Roach Motel, but it's like a trap to catch, you know, disgusting bugs in the house. Wow. Wow, dude. Great move. Knight d4. So what if I just go home? ET phone home. No threats, just no threats. ET phone home. Knight takes knight, bishop takes. Now we're playing e5 anyway. Alright, maybe we can win on time. It's a longer increment. The day that I laughed on a stream, I have laughed before, but I laugh more often when I'm like drunk or under the influence of some kind of foreign substance. Yeah, it's really perverse what made me laugh. It was so ridiculous, though. Like, it was just the ridiculousness of it that made me laugh. You know? That's the thing. You never know what makes you laugh, for sure. Not like I'm really, I think it's really humorous, the whole concept. But, the absurdity of what he said, essentially. Wow, this guy is good. So now what am I going to do? B6? You're going to just go with the flow. It's going to have 100 million pawns for a piece. It's great. Craziness. I said it would be alright as long as I trapped it, but I wasn't planning on like losing my whole queen side to do it. That was a nasty move. Weiss Monstrous has played like a genius. I never played this guy before. I mean, but he's got Nefedov-like ratings. Very similar. Like 19 plus in long chess, 16 in blitz, and 14, 15 in blitz, in bullet. Was b5 better as knight takes b6? Uh-huh. Yes, probably. I mean, there could be a sort of a plan that he could maybe open it up with like a4, though. You got to be careful. There could be some sort of downside to that. Now he's threatening this. Don't have a lot of time here to fart around. His g2 pawn is hanging. We have two pieces for the rook, but that's not enough. I mean, he's got 2 pawns for the 2 pieces, and 2 pawns and a rook. It's too much. So white is better. There's no doubt white is better. He's got a lot of connected pawns. I need to get my pieces developed. There's no time to take that pawn on g2, unfortunately. What's up, Melamoo dude? He's raiding with a party of 19. Oh man. I'm just ending the stream now. We got a white square blockade. Trying to blockade. Trying the appropriate word here. Man. Whoa. Alright, what are you doing out there? What are you doing out there? Maybe it is Nefedov. I'm happy with the draw here, man. I mean, this position is out of control. If you want to draw, I'm going to claim a draw. Good game. I mean, white is better here. Don't even tell me that the engine thinks it's really equal. That's gotta be... You gotta be freaking kidding me. I was terrified I'm, like, seriously worse here. Wow. So it's like, literally, I'm okay. According to the computer, I could be okay here. I had very little faith in my position. I mean, these 3 pawns are extremely, extremely dangerous. But maybe I could play rook c8 there. And the engine says that I'm slightly better. But king f3 is a crazy move. It looks slightly crazy. You should have gone back to a sensible location, like e1. And then it's just like equal, according to the engine. But I'm happy there. It's a good game. Interesting game. Probably you were better at some point. But it's a little... I'm not a big fan of playing against 3 connected pass pawns. So I will see you guys later. Interesting games today. Tomorrow is Tuesday. We have the Rapid Viewer Arena on Tuesday evening. And I will see you guys then. And from the replacement Pandas and myself, we will see you then tomorrow night. Thank you for watching. And thanks to JCS for filling in for Soltigo while he can't moderate. We'll again, thanks everybody for subscribing, and we try to keep the stream interesting. So have fun. I will see you tomorrow night. Bye bye.